This is probably going to be the most raw video I've done for a while. And I'll get comments every so often, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on TikTok or a YouTube video, that we only show all the positives and we must have easy foster kids because we're never talking about all the hard stuff. And let me be clear, we're not ever going to talk about the hard stuff with kids who are placed with us. Yes, we have had 5 foster placements. We've also done respite as well. And by sharing some of the challenges that we've experienced, behaviors and different things like that, it's too easy for people in our lives to figure out which child that could have been referring to. And that's why, especially this early in our fostering experience, we're not going to talk about that stuff. Now, for those who have years and years of fostering and they have many, many kids who have been through their home, it might be easier to talk about, oh yeah, we had to go through this situation and it was, a challenge, but there's never a mention of who the child is. So I just want to clarify, we're never going to do that. But we're a normal family and we go through normal challenges that everybody else has to go through. And personally, I just don't think that it does any good to come on here and talk about, all the daily troubles because, like I said, everybody has been through this. But literally the last 24 hours has just been so hard. It has pushed me to an absolute mental breakdown. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that have happened over the last 24 hours and kind of why it's just every so often in your life, there will be highs and there will be lows, and it just seems like everything is not going the way that I anticipated. Everything is a struggle. Things are just piling up. Everything is getting to me because I'm human. So this isn't a video talking about the challenges of being a foster caregiver. It's just the challenges of being human and also being a caregiver. And I do want to mention some of the things that I'm going to talk about are part of the reason why we are taking a temporary break from fostering, because we know we have a lot of stressors right now, and I am not always my best self, and I'm not going to have kids come into our home and not be 100% ready to be there, be trauma informed, be patient, because right now I can't even be patient with my own kids. I'm also not going to be interested in people shaming me for being honest about the challenges of being a caregiver and some of the things I'm going to share. I know that some of the things that have happened in the last 24 hours that have really set me off are trivial. I know this, but when everything is compounded, it just gets you to a point where you break. So the dominoes started falling about 24 hours ago. And also to set the scene, over the weekend, John did have a trip, and even though I did get some support from family with the kids, I really had to do it all. And it was fine and I managed, but that weekend of being the sole caregiver and then going into a normal week without any kind of a break, any kind of a recharge, I think it already kind of put me at a disadvantage. But recently, John and I have been going through, because he is self-employed and I am newly unemployed. Back in May was the last time that I was fully employed. Previously, we had always been getting our health insurance, our life insurance, all those different types of things through the company that I would be working for. And because that has changed, we were being responsible and we, were in communication with someone who was, getting us through the process, and the health insurance was always covered, and John and I were being proactive and making sure that our life insurance was taken care of as well. So John's plan was approved and the amount quoted was really close to what his ultimate plan was. And mine, there was a little bit of back and forth because, they look at your whole health history, especially the last 5 years. And here's where things got messy. For those of you who've been watching for a while, about 6 months ago, we had 3 kids placed with us who were moved because the county felt that we weren't a good fit for them. It was devastating. There was a lot of emotions that went into that, and there are videos that talk about that. The grief that I felt, the depression that I was in for months. And pretty much immediately after they were removed from our home, I think within a month, I reached out to my doctor and I got an appointment and I was talking to her about my mental health. and where I was at, never thinking that this conversation and the information that I was going to be sharing with her would be used against me when I was applying for life insurance. But because I do have generalized anxiety, and I was going through like this situational depression where, my alcohol had increased and my feelings of depression were a lot stronger. And, I was being proactive to really get ahead of things. Yesterday, I got the call from our insurance agent, and she said that the original quote of $90 a month was going to be $155 because of that conversation that I had with my doctor. I know that I did the right thing going to my doctor, getting the help that I knew that I needed in that moment. It just felt so backwards that somebody going to get help for something and nobody cared about any progress or where I'm at right now. But just the fact that I had that conversation at that time, that was being held against me. I just felt blindsided and I felt ashamed. I felt like the system wasn't working the way that it should. I felt like I couldn't be honest with my doctor in the future because like that trust is gone, that it's going to be used against me. So I just got really emotional about that. And I know, again, all the things that I'm going to share that have gotten me to the point where I am at a super low point, they're going to seem trivial. They're going to seem like first world problems. I know that, but that doesn't make it any less hurtful, any less painful. It also didn't help that this whole time that I'm being told that my mental health is why my life insurance is almost double what the quote was. Sawyer is having an absolute meltdown. I can't calm him down. I'm also having my own meltdown on the phone with my insurance agent. It was just not a fun conversation. And then today happened. So today I had this long list of stuff that I wanted to do. Started the day off with a really great stretch. I took a break from my workout and I was just doing a full body yoga stretch. We had scheduled for Darcy to get her first vaccine shot today. She was really prepared for it. She was ready to go. Everything was smooth. And I also decided that we had time to get Sawyer a haircut because it was getting pretty unruly. And I thought it would be pretty quick. He did really well the last time. And I was going to put a show on for him to watch because we were just going to Great Clips. We weren't going to Cookie Cutters where they have the full kid experience. But I thought he would do pretty well. I thought it would be quick enough and he would be distracted. It wouldn't be a big deal. I was so wrong. He cried the whole time. I was worried about the hairdresser because I can't imagine how difficult it is to be trying to cut a kid's hair and they're having a meltdown. I was worried about what the other people in Great Clips were thinking. And again, I know that most people are understanding of the situation. Still, I just was really self-aware of the chaos that we were bringing. So we finally get through that. It was a $15 haircut. I tipped her $8 because I'm like, holy crap, like you were so patient, so kind. And then we go to get Darcy her shot. And it wasn't at her pediatrician's office. And I probably should have called them first, but my sister and brother-in-law work for Kroger and my nephews had gotten theirs done last week. And it was just going to be super quick and easy to register her. We got to Kroger, we went to the pharmacy, and it was an absolutely terrible experience. So number one, even Darcy walking in, she was like ready to go, all of that. But she was walking into this like really stuffy office. It was not a place that would be like inviting or calming. And the pharmacist was pretty like, I don't know, kind of like checked out, I guess. I think that Darcy picked up on all those things and she started to freak out. So John and I are trying to reassure her of being brave and that, this is something that is going to help her. We just went through all those conversations again, but she was just really not having it. At one point, Sawyer even said, "No, doctor," because like Darcy was just so upset and he thought that the doctor was going to hurt her. It was a nightmare. And throughout this whole thing, the pharmacist is just standing there and I felt like she was just judging us. I honestly would just be careful on where you go to get the child vaccine because I just had a feeling that her personal views were impacting the way that she was treating the situation and she was not making it better at all. And finally, as we were talking with Darcy, she said that she wanted her doctor to give her the shot. that she wasn't scared of the shot, but that she wanted to be at the doctor who had the pictures of dogs on the wall. Again, we tried to convince her that it would be the same as if she was getting it there, but I could really just tell that she did not like the energy. So we decided, okay, we wasted our time with this appointment, but at least we will get her in another day. But again, that was 2 kid appointments that were absolute meltdowns, absolutely exhausting. John and I decided to still take the kids out to lunch afterwards because we did set her appointment with her pediatrician, and she said that, you know, that would be a better situation. And I know that it will be because they're so great at a pediatrician's office. It's also what kids are used to. They're used to getting shots at their doctor, not at a Kroger. So honestly, I should have thought about that ahead of time. So we go to lunch as a family and try to put it all behind us. Because we went to lunch, Darcy wasn't able to get on the bus, but I decided to drive her to kindergarten. Sawyer ends up falling asleep in the car. Darcy actually falls asleep in the car too, so I have to wake her up when it's time to go into school. But then Sawyer wakes up. So he had a 30-minute nap. Background information, usually he takes a 2.5-hour nap every afternoon. But because he fell asleep for 30 minutes, he got like a quick little recharge, and then he thought he was good. So then he didn't take a nap the rest of the day. So now he's cranky. It was also when I was going to use his nap time to record basically my summary of Made, the Netflix series. I did my hair, I did my makeup, I had everything set up, and he just was not napping. So I had to keep reassuring him, trying to get him down for his nap, was not having it. Also before this, I had a 2-hour meeting with my Ohio advocacy group. By the end of the call, I, shared with the group because they asked, okay, how do we feel about how that call went? Because we were talking to some different people in the system, kind of like with another organization. And I just shared that it just feels like all we're doing is talking. I feel like as an advocacy group, we all agree on like what the issues are, but we can't take action on actually fixing it. And at the end of the day, all of the problems come back to the system, the government agency, which for us is the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. That is where everything boils down to. The problem lies with different ways that they're handling situations. And I'm not faulting anyone who works at these organizations. I'm just saying that systematically there are issues that need to be addressed, and everyone on the outside can kind of see, okay, like these are the conversations we need to be having. These are the actions that we should probably take, or here's how we can like work together, but nothing gets changed. So again, I'm having this super stressful day, and then I get on that call and I just feel hopelessness for any kind of reform or change that's going to happen with foster care. So again, it was just hard. When I thought that Sawyer had calmed down and I went to try to record the video that I was going to put out, this is actually a video that I did not plan to do. And honestly, I don't even know if I should be putting this out, but I will. Who cares? But I'm trying to record, and Crosley is click-clacking across the floor, so I have to like pause every time, wait for him to get settled. The guinea pigs are drinking out of their water, so that's, very, very loud, so I have to wait till they calm down. And then the heat turns on, and that kind of ruins my audio, so I have to turn that off, wait for it to, kick off. And then the neighbors' dogs are barking, and it's like, again, just like one thing after the other that was just like ticking away. And what's funny with all of these things that are like leading me to a breakdown, again, because of how this all started with feeling like I was penalized for seeking mental health support, like it's such a conundrum. Like, how am I supposed to get help if I feel like I'm not being properly supported? But anyway, so then Sawyer and I we get Darcy off the bus, something happens and she has a meltdown. She is a really, really incredible kid. And right now we're working on her emotional regulation, which is also something that kids who are in foster care, depending on their age and their development, like that's kind of a big thing to be supporting children with. And on a perfect day, I would be the perfect parent and I would be patient and understanding. But because of all of these stressors, I wasn't a perfect parent. I didn't react to my kids today the way that I wish that I would have. And in the moment, this isn't right. I'm not helping things. I'm escalating things. But we can't be perfect parents all the time. And I know if you're watching this and you are a parent, most likely you understand. If you can't relate to this as a parent, holy crap, you might need to have your own channel and show us all like your magic tricks, because I don't know of a parent who hasn't had that time where they responded in a way that they really wish that they hadn't. So I'm trying to calm down Darcy, but my voice has risen. I'm irritated because basically she was upset with me because she was trying to hide a paper and I asked her what it was. And so it ruined her hiding it and me finding it. And like logically, I'm like, okay, Darcy, come on. How was I supposed to know this? Should we be getting upset about this? But she's 5.5 and it meant a lot to her. And so really just trying to talk her through all of that. Then earlier she had actually accidentally scratched Sawyer on the face when they were playing. And so I knew I needed to trim her nails. So I'm trying to trim her nails. She's not listening. She's fighting me. Not to mention every time Sawyer gets his diaper changed, he's fighting me. Every single time. Side note, very soon I'm going to be trying to potty train him. I'll most likely do a video on kind of the techniques we use behind that and if we're successful or not. But for now, we just deal with him fighting us every time. So as I'm trying to calm Darcy down, Sawyer is off doing his own thing. And when I finally walk over to him, I see that he has poured an entire glass of water out on the counter, ruined all of Darcy's pictures, all so that he could put these little cupcakes into the cup. And again, this is a toddler experiment, but it just sent me over the edge because I had all of these things I had to do and just nothing was going right. And it just makes you feel as a parent like you're failing when in the moment you don't have that patience. I sat down and I talked with them. I apologized for me raising my voice. I explained that I was just upset and that I wasn't mad at them, that I loved them. And as a parent, I think like if we can't be 100% all the time, we at least need to know when to acknowledge that we've made a mistake, and that's okay. So again, I don't know if this video is going to resonate with anyone out there. I just wanted to be honest. Typically, we try to stay really positive on the channel, and yes, we'll talk about challenges, but overall, I'm not even going to be able to finish the video because John just came back with the kids. They went around to garbage pick. They look to see if there's stuff that's being thrown out, especially carpet for the guinea pigs. But they just came home and now Crosley is freaking out. So I can't even finish this video the way that I wanted to, but please just be kind. I'm just trying to share really raw and vulnerably how being a caregiver, we're not always going to be perfect. As a foster caregiver, you need to recognize when you hit these moments. You really need to take a step back because these are the types of things that if I was talking to a child in foster care, the way that I talked to Darcy today, that could have been really traumatic for them. And I do not want to be any source of additional trauma for kids. Just know where you are in life, know your stressors. I mean, we're going through a lot right now and we're aware of that. We know that our kids right now have a lot of needs. And so we're trying to get those kind of established, get them back to a normal routine, with me being unemployed and Sawyer at home and just so many different things. We're all out of whack. So we're trying to kind of regulate our family unit before we jump in, feet first again. I'm probably going to regret posting this video, but here it is. I hope you guys enjoyed.